Hello there, welcome back to the Big Fat Psychic channel, and of course, again, we've got lots to discuss. Thank you for tuning in and viewing me today. It really means a lot. So let's see where we can go today. Do you know what? I've been thinking about the Queen lately, and I always try and go where other psychics haven't, or haven't for a while. So yeah, I thought we'd spend time discussing how the Queen's point of view is towards Marian Hagan. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. Marian Hagan. Anyway, so make of that what you will. Yeah, so I thought we'll do a bit of a storyboard on what the Queen feels about Harry and Meghan, and they've touched everybody, haven't they? There's an effect on Charles, there's effect on the UK people, affected Kate and William, affected Kate and William's children. It's actually affected, it's had a knock-on effect everywhere, okay? And as you know, she's not she's not getting any younger, that's for sure. I mean, she is a strength, an absolute strength. And the monarchy, as long as she's alive, the monarchy remains unthreatened, actually, despite opinions of the media and woke Harry. And so, yeah, let's get straight to it then, because there's a lot of questions. And I'm aware that, a 25-minute video can turn into 50 minutes because I just get carried away, don't I, chatting. Anyway, okay, so the first question I'm going to start with is, how did the Queen feel when she heard about their late Meghan and Harry's bloody cemetery pose, stunt, whatever you call it, what did she feel or think towards the pair of them? Mainly Harry, probably, at that point, because isn't he a willing participant? He's not a victim anymore. No, he's a willing party. He really is, and he knows what he's doing. He's too selfish. He's putting his own needs against everybody else's. This probably is coming from where the Queen's coming from. So let's have a look. So without further ado, we'll pick a card. How did the Queen feel about that cemetery stunt in the USA? Well, she's definitely aware that this was a business decision. Okay, it's for finances, so she knows it's about finances, and I think, while she's aware that she's getting paid for this, so she's aware that Meghan and Harry was paid. I'm also seeing that this may not have been their idea. I'm kind of seeing somebody in management, and he's solving issues effectively, and he probably thought, that this was this person, so it could be it's definitely in the PR thing, because they didn't come up with this by themselves. It just takes too much to get in with a crew, to get the permission to pick a day when, they actually managed to pick a day when nobody was visiting that grave. Did you see how many headstones there was? Now that's a likely impossibility. So again, all being arranged by the PR, and obviously knows, she can see that it was done for money and that they was paid. I think everything that these two do, she realises now, it's all, it's just all about spin. And also as well, so this PR thing, this guy, whoever he is, he does hold quite a lot of influence, and so he's probably not just being responsible for this incident, but for many. And all this is about making money, and to make money for these two, they've got to be seen. They've got to be seen, So the Queen feels it was a PR stunt. Okay, so how is the Queen feeling about Meghan and Harry's behaviour since Megxit, you know? How does she feel? Does she feel that they've stuck to the agreement? Does she feel that they've tried and made efforts, you know? Or what does she feel? I mean, this woman is a very positive lady, and she tries to see the good in everybody, and she's a grandma, but I'm asking, how does a queen feel? Because if it had been in olden days, their heads would have been off, and they would. Okay, so how does the Queen feel about Meghan and Harry since the Megxit deal? Oh God, you know, this is awful. There's just no end to it, is it? She feels that, you know, they've brought despair, ruin, disappointment. They've not even ended things, you know, they've taken things with them, and they've taken the name, the titles, but they'll have taken a lot of other stuff as well, you know. And I don't feel like, you know, she's seen how it has affected everybody else. Their two selfish people have affected practically the whole world, you know. I think they've ruined their chances, you know. She sees that they've ruined their opportunities. So the end is nigh, okay? The end is nigh. I mean, she just can't wait for this review to take place. Now, we'll ask about the review a bit later on in the reading. But, you know, yeah, she feels that, God, they've ruined it, they've affected the monarchy, you know, they've brought despair with all the digs and the stories and the backstabbing, and you know, no, I don't think anybody in this family has escaped, you know. So yeah, they've ruined it for themselves basically, but they're trying to ruin the royal family as well. And she is, you know, as a queen, she's very, very disappointed, and I think the case as a grandmother too. The Queen has to protect the monarchy. That is her duty, regardless whether her son is the smiling assassin, you know, and coming in to try and pull a rug under everybody. Can you imagine? That's, you know, that's kind of how it's seen in the family. Like, these two are just set on not just ruining themselves, but ruining everybody else with it. So she does feel I don't know what happened for her to change the mind. Maybe it's just, you know, the same things that we've seen over and over again repeatedly, but in different formats. So yeah, she is very, very disappointed in their behaviour. Okay, how does the Queen feel about William and Kate throughout all this? I have to say, do you know, it's just them two. They have done so well. Not just lately, but for all the years they've been together. You know, the future king was honest with the future queen consort, that, you know, this was going to be a turbulent journey, you know, and well, history just goes to show, doesn't it? You know, all the twists and turns and dynamics. And I know we aren't with Henry VIII and Mary, the Queen of Scots, but, you know, at the end of the day, it is still a hell of a responsibility for two such people. And I think they've done it with grace, with beauty, with love. You know, nobody's perfect, God. You know, I can imagine that they'll be over the cornflakes, but they just have managed so well, and that is a job. You know, that's their job, to manage to be seen when, you know, needed, and not to be noticed. You know, by the bloody pedantics of their opposites. So, you know, I do feel that this has maybe been a good thing for William and Kate, because they've been allowed to shine, you know. So let's have a look then. How does the Queen feel about Kate and William since this Megxit? Do you know, it's awful. It's absolutely awful. it's bringing up a mum. It's bringing up a lack of a mum. I think, you know, because of Meghan and Harry, this has affected Kate and William. I think this story about Archie is an absolute, has been a nightmare for him, you know, and her. So, you know, I think the Queen knows it's been difficult for Kate especially, and Kate's mum, maybe because they're not able to spend as much time together, maybe with all this, you know, the C word going about. And I think as well she hasn't, she feels it's been difficult that she hasn't been able to support Kate, you know, face to face, because again, a lot of distance is, you know, being kept from everybody, and the Queen obviously needs to keep safe as well. So, you know, I mean, Kate and William, I mean, he had COVID, she's been, you know, thrown to the wolves. I think she thinks that Kate has had it most difficult, okay? But, you know, Elizabeth, God, I did get that right, didn't I? Right, so yeah, Elizabeth, the second, I think. Elizabeth, she admires them both, you know. But, do you know, I'm just wondering if this has cost Kate more than that we see. Because I'm actually seeing a loss of a child, so a child not given birth to, a woman who is not a mother. Yeah, so I'm just seeing a lack of a child. Now, she could, it's not so much that, I probably see a miscarriage. And I mean, we wouldn't know anyway, would we? Because they'd never put that out. Nobody would, because at the end of the day, it leaves them both wide open for attack from Meghan's mania and Meghan's disgusting, you know, small percentage of fans maybe, but nevertheless very disgusting. So, you know, that could leave up to personal insults, you know, and somebody saying you deserve it or this, that and the other, you know, in spite and vengeance. Well, that would be mind-blowing. But, you know, I'm more drawn to the fact that maybe she's had to put off having a child because of all of the C word, the Queen word, the Meghan word, you know. I just feel it's not been a very good time at all. So maybe there's a delay with children. Now, if this Catherine has miscarried, then my heart goes out to you. It really does. But, you know, keep up whatever you're doing, because you're coming across very, very natural and nurturing and well. I also think as well the Queen has found it difficult with Kate and William because of the grandchildren, you know, or great grandchildren. You know, so she's not been, it's just been difficult all round. You know, she hasn't been able to support them as a couple or indeed as a family so much, you know, in usual times. And I think, you know, even seeing her grandchildren, she hasn't been able to, and much like, you know, I know in the past, like many grandparents didn't get to see their grandchildren. So, you know, thank God for Zoom. Thank God for iPhones, face-to-face. Is it FaceTime? Yeah, I'm still not keen on that FaceTime. The kids, they put like wonderful faces on and everything, you know. I don't know if they're called mergers, smiling and face altering actually. But anyway, yeah. So, you know, the Queen is up to date, probably more than me, on you know, staying in touch and FaceTime and everything. So very difficult all round as a grandmother. Very difficult as a queen, you know, to support her next charge, so to speak, you know, the future king of England, and George as well, you know. He would be starting around, you know, grooming now, you know, grooming him for a life. that comes with being, you know, the king's son, the future king's son. So yeah, she's found it very difficult, and she knows it's been very difficult for Kate and William. Okay, how does the Queen feel about all this Archie business, you know? How does she feel about all this Archie business? I think the Queen thinks, you know, things will... maybe things will change, or it doesn't matter what we say on the top of things, you know, it's what's underneath, and I'm getting like a denial, you know, a denial. That's what, isn't it? Because Meghan and Harry are always denying. But yeah, I think she knows this is going to come out, because right now she feels everybody's under a false sense of security. So she sees that with where Archie is concerned, that the story's going to break. The story is going to break, and you know, it does show deception, illusion, you know, and I think she's managed to Meghan's trying to involve as many of the royal family as possible. So where, you know, false sense of security, like, oh, it'll be all right. Well, it won't be all right. So I think there's two things here. I think where Archie's concerned, you know, something is going to break. We've all said this, something is going to break. I do not believe that it was Meghan just bloody faffing around with mum bums just to, you know, get the story and this, that and the other, and the attention, because who would want to instill that for their, you know, their child? Would you really want your child growing up knowing that your mum did all this for a bit of attention, and now everybody thinks you're not, you know, that Meghan didn't give birth to you, so technically not your mum? And then there's no titles, and then there's the bloody announcements that are very, very different to and worded different to the births of George, Charlotte and Louis. So I think the Queen knows this is inevitable. How does Queen feel that? How does the Queen feel about Charles and the way he's handling Harry and Meghan? How does she feel about Charles and the way that he's been handling them? Oh well, I think at times there's been confusion. I think we've been led to believe, and we have, haven't we, that, you know, Charles is doing nothing, nobody's denied anything, but in actual fact I think there has been stuff going on, and that you know, this relationship with Charles and Harry is not as good as people are making out, especially these two, you know. So I think Meghan and Harry have found themselves on the wrong side of Charles. I really do. Sometimes she doubts him, you know, sometimes she's going by her gut feeling, sometimes she's seen that he's capable. I mean, it's definitely a major arcana, and I said before the month's out, something is amiss. I thought, you know, something's not right here, okay? Something is not right with Charles. I'm gonna just ask this wasn't a planned question, but because of this, I'm sure somebody's ill in the royal family, you know. And Philip's too obvious, you know. So I'm going to ask, is Charles ill? Is he ill? Please tell me. Is Charles ill? That's very odd actually, because I'm seeing a young page reversed. Well, I see anxiety, definitely. I hate this card when it comes reversed, because that anxiety is like something that's not even, it could be based on one thing, but then it's exaggerated £1,000, a thousand times if if you do have that predisposition for anxiety. So I do feel he's very, very anxious. He's very, very anxious. He doesn't want to upset Harry. There's Harry upside down, you know, spilling blood. He looks like he's spilling blood, doesn't he? And he certainly is. I think he worries. I think she knows he worries and he's anxious about Harry. So not seeing him being ill, but I am seeing him being worried, very worried, and it doesn't feel like he's been kept in the loop, or you know, he doesn't feel part of something. He doesn't feel like that he's been included in these decisions that, you know, Meghan and Harry make. So maybe, you know, we'll go back to the moon and say, you know, all is not what it seems, you know. So, I mean, I can imagine Harry and Meghan, you know, threatening to cut off and this, that and the other. But whatever it is, I don't know if it's... do you know, I'm tempted to say they could have something on Charles. I really am. And I mean, isn't that awful? Isn't that awful that your son would do that to you? I just don't see that. I don't see him pulling I don't see Charles feeling that he can maybe take control. Okay, so do you know what? There's something really shady there. I can't put my finger on it, and well, I can probably with another, you know, video, but there is something here, you know, that stops him. Knowledge that stops him, and this isn't like a secret that's going to hit the media, you know. But it's obviously making him very anxious, and I think the Queen sees that. She can understand his anxiety, basically. And maybe he fears for his son's life, you know. Maybe he does. Well, he probably does. Okay, so how does the Queen feel about Charles's parenting style then for William? I don't know. No wishes, no dreams come true for this couple. They're both not happy, or definitely William's not happy. Maybe William is putting something to him and just basically, you know, wants Harry out. He can't stand Meghan. He thinks she's an attention seeker, and it's making everybody unhappy in the situation. So I can understand why William's coming from, but I'm not getting any love at the moment between these two. Okay, so William's probably standing up for himself and his family, whereas he may see Charles as dilly-dallying and, you know, making excuses, trying to pacify Meghan and Harry, and William's having none of it. But, you know, I've always said Charles is a weak man. For God's sake, if you're going to cheat on your wife, you know, what kind of king are you going to be? Because apparently, you know, for a bit of nookie, what, you're going to bring the Queen and the monarchy into disrepute. You will always be remembered, Charles, for, you know, for being weak, actually. I think it's a general consensus. And sorry, if you cheat on, you know, if you can't take the vows of your marriage seriously, how the hell are you going to take the vows of a king when your head can be turned just like that? So, yeah, William, the Queen sees that there is something going on between William and his dad. And we know who's to blame. We know who's to blame. So, yeah, sorry that, this Queen is having to witness an awful lot. Okay. And how does the Queen feel about Meghan's parenting style towards Archie? If I get another obscure card, I tell you. Oh my god. Well, this is it. This is what I get. So, Meghan, the Queen hasn't seen Archie in such a long time, so she's not seen him, not on a Zoom call. I think probably the only time she saw him was the reading the book saga. And if you go back to that bloody video where he's seen, I swear to God, Meghan shows enough like, I think it's outrageous, behave in a certain manner, behave with respect and bloody, you're a royal for Christ's sake, but no, bit too much like for the Meg. Anyway, yeah, so she hasn't seen him, so she can't really comment on Archie, and she's been kept very in the dark, it's as if like, it's true, isn't it? What her sister said. It's like he's a phantom. No, she's actually is definitely he's definitely of this world. He's definitely been to the surrogate. He's she's got all these things. She's just such a bloody liar. Now, do you know what? If this woman is so clever, and I'm talking about Meghan here, if she is so clever to incite all these strategies, get pregnant and then change your bumps and this, that and the other, did Harry and Harry? I don't know if they had time to make a baby when Harry and Harry are up all night plotting what scheme to do next. And I'm telling you, if this woman was clever enough to manufacture all this on her own, then she deserves, one of them top degrees, in sociopathy, or what is it, sociopath, psychopath. She deserves a degree times 10 in bloody psychology, this woman, because she's got it down to a fine art. At the end of the day, there's something amiss. The Queen's staying shut. Not sure how William has resisted the temptation, but obviously I think it could all be chased back. So he's probably waiting on somebody else to spill the beans. So the poor Queen can't comment on Meghan's skills because she hasn't seen him. Okay, what does the Queen know about Meghan and Harry that we don't? What does she know that we don't? Okay, so please tell me, what does the Queen know about Meghan and Harry that we don't? Well, I've got creation here. And it's as if they've got a new job, or somebody's going to be promoted. They've got new work, good ideas, and she hopes, it's successful for them, because at the end of the day, I'm sure she wants them happy and loaded rather than skint and vindictive. So, the way she's thinking is that if Meghan and Harry do well, then I just had a thought. There's another question later on down the line, but could these two, with this Donald Trump, I mean, honest to God, I wish he was in power, because when I made that prediction, it does show a no-win for Trump. And there was another thing, when I was talking about Meghan being president or going for presidency in the office before, I did mention that she would, if Biden, if Trump lost, then she would see it as the green light to go into politics. Well, to go into politics, do you know I said this was a happy card for her? Right, so Meghan's probably set to announce that she's going into politics and she's going to throw the titles back. Well, I hope that's the case, and I want the prince and princess, I want them totally, you know, get your own success off your own back. But, so yeah, it's looking like the Queen knows, you know, that they have a new job lined up. And the Queen's quite happy about it. So maybe it's, you know, maybe it's a win-win situation here, okay? But nevertheless, Meghan is set to make an announcement. Meghan is set to make an announcement. Oh, Meghan. Oh, Meghan. You are, honestly, you're going to scare me to death, because if Trump, you know, oh my God. So Trump is losing and then she goes in. Oh my God. And I've told you before in the other readings, it won't be her. It won't be her skills. Somebody's backing her. It's not just somebody, it's a big team, and they've been working on this for quite a while. I don't buy into the I don't buy into it that she's a plant, but I buy into it that she's surrounded herself with a lot of powerful and influential people, and maybe through Harry and the royals, you know, she's got information on people. You just never know with this woman, but she's just no good. I don't see any goodness in her. Honestly, I can see people being a pain in the backside and, you know, demanding attention, or maybe, you know, and they're ill, and so they have those personality traits. But she just, she's not going to change. It's like you know, it is like she's a fame junkie. I think certain prisoners, when they're going in and out of prison all their life, that's what they adapt to, and it's all that they can survive with. But for Meghan, her big dreams and attention didn't come until a couple of years ago. So, you know, she was only in a small pond. So yeah, she's going to be absolutely loving this. Okay guys, I'm going to be back shortly with another reading. Anyway guys, thank you very much.